trying times that us Malaysians have not only suffered financially and emotionally, but mentally too. With the seemingly endless fight against this coronavirus pandemic, many Malaysians have slowly begun to give up and give in to the stress and pressure. With the government gradually unable to hand out financial aid to the needy, the white flag movement has become their last resort to seek help from the community. And even so, with the help pouring in, providing daily necessities, many still have invisible phantoms that haunt their waking hour, like the hopelessness of losing their jobs and the depression of being dependent on aid, not knowing when the crutch may give way to darker tidings. Now, I would like all of us to take a step back and ask ourselves this. With the ongoing pandemic, who is there to provide mental support? Who is there to be their mental crutch? And even if there were anyone, are the sufferers willing to seek and ask for aid? A very good day to the honorable adjudicators and viewers. My name is Rebecca Lam, a Form 5 student studying SMJK Lian here in Taiping, Perak. The title of my speech today is Mental Health. Ladies and gentlemen, I find it rather amusing that majority of the Asian community places a great deal of importance on one's achievements and social hierarchy. Every parent loves bragging about how successful their children are in life, what grand houses they live in, and what flashy car they drive. And yet, they almost never seem to mind about their children's mental health. And why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I have a theory. As part of the Asian community myself, I will not deny that we are generally more conservative than the Western community. We do not like discussing controversial thoughts or ideas. We most definitely do not like talking about topics that make us uncomfortable or uneasy. And an individual's mental health falls into that category. It is a common misconception that asking for help is weak, as society perceives those that can hold down their own without asking for outside help are the strong ones. I personally believe that those in face of great vulnerability yet are willing to let their walls down and seek assistance are the truly admirable ones. Because, let's face it, no one likes to eat the crust of humility, pride cast aside. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this toxic perception must be changed. With the pandemic still going strong, the mental health of many Malaysians have slowly begun to deteriorate. Many of them have begun to succumb to their depression, turning to the two most common ways to deal with the pain: self-harm and suicide. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, it is crucial that we address the elephant in the room today. What should we do to ensure us Malaysians have and can maintain a good mental health status? Well, I reckon we must, first and foremost, be willing to address this matter head on without flinching or shying away from it. Mental Health Awareness Month is not an occasion most Malaysians are familiar with. As I had mentioned earlier, we are not as open as the Western community when it comes to divulging personal matters. Least of all, our mental health. Members of the floor, I believe an individual's greatest fear is being judged and feeling like a disappointment. This is the main cause of many of us refusing to share our personal experiences, therefore hindering our efforts of having a better mental health. As someone more reserved, I will not suddenly go up to my mother and tell her about the breakdown I just had in the bathroom, or the anxiety attack 2 days prior. No, I will simply tell it to my journal, something inanimate that cannot judge me. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, that we, as both the sufferers and the supporters, must rid ourselves of fear and social stigma if we desire to see a better Malaysia. This is where formal education comes in. Although the Malaysian curriculum does talk about mental health, I feel the syllabus merely skims the surface of this topic, superficial in its deliverance. What we need is more than talk on paper, more than theory-based solutions. We need interactive campaigns, forums discussing real-life experiences for a more immersive understanding for everyone. Now, on the other side of the same coin, teachers nowadays are perfunctory in their teaching, as they see teaching as a job that pays and allows them to put food on the table, no longer as a passion. And speaking of teaching, I'd like to share with you a story. My grandmother was a teacher some 40 years ago, and although she has long retired, many of her ex-students still drop by to pay her a visit. You see, ladies and gentlemen, my grandmother actually took the time and effort to get to know them, and these efforts of hers formed a bond and built trust between them. But alas, you must acknowledge that teachers and students of this age are not as dedicated as they were back in the days. And this is something we must all strive to correct. Students and teachers alike must come together and start building trust so that both sides will feel comfortable talking about any mental health issues they have. Ladies and gentlemen, it is imperative that we educate ourselves on ways to help individuals with mental health issues. The most basic of which is to be the pillar of support and listening ear. We must never, ever shun or mock them. And please, ladies and gentlemen, do not pressure them to progress at a rate they are uncomfortable with. Because bear in mind, whatever mental health issues they have, it is simply not something they can snap out of. So, dear listeners, I beg you all to be supportive and patient towards each other. Let us be a country known for its sympathy and empathy towards each other, and not for ignorance on this matter. Finally, to all my brothers and sisters out there, you are enough. You are cared for, and you are loved. Thank you.